One of the things that most people don't realize when they get into the trading world is that the market ultimately dictates whether or not you're going to be successful, whether you realize that or not. Now, not knowing that means that you basically are in the dark completely, because you might be under the assumption that what determines your success is the quality of the signals that you subscribe to, right? You might be thinking that, oh, well, I need good signals. If I had good signals, I'd be successful. No. And it's because foundationally, signals don't work. How can something work when you don't even know the reason behind why you're taking the trade? So signals out the door. Strategy, same thing. Even if you develop your own strategy, when you're using that word, what you're talking about is a method of entering trades. It's like, all right, well, this is my strategy for taking trades in this time frame or that time frame, or with these binaries or with this instrument. Your reference point is how you're entering the trades, right? Your reference is not why you're entering the trade. we getting right straight to it. Right straight to it.
I'm focused, man.
So because your focus is not on why, what ends up happening is you get into trade setups that look great, and for whatever reason, all of them don't win. You might be as disciplined as always waiting for your setup to come, meaning that you take the same setup every time that you trade. Same setup. Market sets up the same way. It moves into a certain position, or it has the pricing that you're looking for on the option or whatever, right? Your methodology, your strategy is in place. You feel good about it. Like, yeah, this is good, man. This works. And then you lose a trade. And you're like, damn, why did that one lose? So it immediately makes you question the strategy. You're like, wait, so did I lose that because my timing was off? Did I enter too early? Did I enter too late? What you'll begin to realize is that when you start to understand the market more, it's less about the timing of the entry. It becomes more about the timing of the market. What does that even mean? In other words, is when I'm entering a good time, is when I'm entering the best time. Well, the best for what? The best time for the trade that I'm selecting to win. The best time for the trade that I'm selecting to reach the goal that I've set for the trade. So I'm using this terminology because this applies to any market and any instrument that you trade. It doesn't just apply to binaries. So this is another very educational video, another very educational live stream, right? In general, the market itself is what always dictates and determines what's going to happen. It's going to determine the outcome of your trade, not the timing of your entry into the trade. Does that make sense? So people concern themselves so much with, oh man, I got to work on my timing into the trade. I got to work on my precision. And yeah, you do. But even more important than that, you need to work on the timing that the market has when you take a trade. That way it becomes less about the timing of your entry into a trade. It becomes more about, should you even be in the trade at all right now? Making sense? So, Sadiq, what's good? it becomes less and less about the things that don't really apply to what you're doing in trading. It's like people are so concerned about the trade, but you should be more concerned about the why, not the trade. Why are you taking a trade now? Should always be your first question. Begin to look at the market and study the market and the movement of the market. Figure out, why would you be taking a trade right now? Does it make sense to even be in a trade? Is what I'm trying to accomplish by being in this trade now in place? Well, what are you trying to accomplish? I want to win this trade. Okay, so how's the market moving? Now we're getting into things that make sense. How's the market moving? Where is it positioned? Is the movement going to keep the position that it's in? Is the movement going to commit to the position that it's in? Is the movement going to commit to the direction that it is moving in now? Not trying to predict where the direction is, but more so looking to see what is the movement in the direction that it's moving in. What's the movement? Is the movement staying? Does the move have staying power? See, like, this elevation begins to open up your eyes when you look at things now, because you start to realize that, wow, all this time I'm thinking it's about the trade, when in reality it's about the timing of the trade. It's about whether or not it makes sense to even be in a trade at this time. See, then you can build around the foundation, because the foundation is, yes, now is a good time to be in the trade. Then you can build the blocks around that. Well, where am I entering? Where is it positioned? Where is it committed to? Which direction is it committed to? Now you can build around, because you know that the market is letting you know that the time is right to be in a trade. Then you can build your way into the trade. You see how the whole engineering process has been reversed. And now what this does is it elevates you, and all of your precision becomes more relative to the market, not to the trade. Remember that all of the information that the trade is giving you, if we're talking about binaries, option pricing, the way option pricing is moving. Like, what pricing are you actually seeing on the platform? Is that in sync on the platform with the movement of the actual market? Are they in tune? Are they in alignment? If they're out of alignment, why? Why are they out of alignment? You see? It has more to do with you understanding the market more so than it does with a trade. We're not looking for, little shortcuts to try to get into a trade, to win a trade real quick. We don't need to do that. All we need to do is become familiar with and recognize when the market presents stability, and become more familiar with the variations of stability and how that looks. Because now what that does is it opens up your eyes and your understanding to why a trade makes sense in the first place. We all have seen trades that set up that look the same. You're like, oh shit, this looked like that same trade I took yesterday. Right, you're talking about the trade though. That's not the real question. Or that's not the real conclusion that you should come to. The real conclusion should be, wow, the market looks the same way it did yesterday. Y'all are following me, right? Not the trade looks the same. The market looks the same. Oh, well, how's the market look? Stable. I told you, I'm forcing y'all out of the thinking of trade mode and pushing you into market mode so that you understand that the market is leading at all times. It's not a trade setup that's leading you. And if you trade that way, that's where you're going to find difficulty and you're going to have problems. You're going to create problems for yourself because you're looking at trades when you, in actuality, should be looking at the market itself. What is the market looking like? How does that look? Your whole understanding opens up. It changes the whole dynamic for what you do. So you begin to understand why a trade wins or loses. You begin to understand why a trade has trouble. You ever be in a trade and be like, damn, it's moving around a lot. It's doing too much. But you in the trade already, like, damn, man. I hope this holds. I hope this stays. I hope I win this one. Anytime you in the market in a trade and you got a hope, it means that you were not patient enough to wait for the market to reveal itself to you in the first place. You didn't have enough patience. You just took the setup when you saw it. The less eager that you are to get into a setup, the more you become in tune and develop the patience that you need. It happens inevitably. So less trading and more observation. Makes sense, yes? So it just opens up your eyes, period. Like, just like I said, it doesn't even matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter what you're trading. It doesn't matter what instrument it is. It doesn't matter what market it is. The more that you observe the market itself, the more in tune you become with why a trade makes sense or doesn't make sense to take in the first place. And then this opens up your understanding of everything that you're doing. Now it doesn't become a guessing game. It doesn't become you throwing darts and hoping and wishing that your trades become successful and you make profit. You're moving now away from that whole idea and that whole ideology. You're actually moving into understanding the foundation of the market. It's like, listen, the market actually do what it want to do. So when you saying, oh, I knew the market was going to do that. Okay, well, everybody knew that it was going to do that. But did you know that it was going to do that now? Like, all right, you said it was going to do such and such, and it don't do it right away. It does it later. What's wrong with this picture? Your timing is off. Because you're trying to predict what the market is doing. Right? Don't try to predict what the market is doing. Nobody can do that. You might as well flip a coin. If you're going to try to predict, flip a coin, and then whatever you flip, that's what you trade. Coin flips all day. You can do that. And that's what people end up doing because they don't understand the nature of the market and they don't understand that they have to submit to the market in order to be profitable over the long term and understanding why they are profitable, period. See, like everything ties in together. It's like, man, Mark, I don't have any confidence. You know why you don't have confidence? Because you're not seeing the market. When you look at the market, you don't know what you're looking at. Of course you don't have confidence. You don't have confidence because you don't make the connection between what you're seeing and what you recognize. You don't recognize what you're looking at. You see it, you're like, damn, I don't know what that meant. Damn, it was holding at first. And then in the last few seconds it did some other shit. Man, market, I don't like the pound. See, it happens to be the pound, so now you blame it on the pound. When every market does that, it's the pound. So if you know that that's the nature of the market, what it means is that you're not connected to the nature of the market. In other words, you don't understand the nature of the market. And you need to. You need to understand its nature. Then things begin to make sense. Like, wow, I'm starting to understand now. This is starting to make sense to me now. Okay, let me keep watching. Let me keep observing. Let me keep studying. Not, oh, well, let me keep practicing. Let me keep trading until I figure this out. Why? You're taking trades not understanding why you're taking the trades in the first place. So stop trading. This is another thing too that's going to help many people. No one ever told you not to trade. I'm telling you, don't trade. I'm literally telling you, listen, if you're losing, stop trading. That's number one. Stop. You're not confident? Stop trading. Don't take no more trades. Because there's a reason that you're not confident. It means you're not seeing. Understand something. Listen. The market is what it is. You either see it or you don't. This is what's happening. It's not that the market just does crazy things. This is something I used to tell people all the time. They used to be like, hey, man, market was crazy today. And I used to be like, the market is crazy every day. Because what you're calling crazy is normal. That's normal behavior for the market. What do you mean, Mark? It does what it wants. Period. You can't say it's crazy today. Because what you calling crazy today, same thing it was doing yesterday. But yesterday you didn't say it was crazy. Why not? Maybe you weren't looking at the time when it was doing what it's doing now that you see. So because you're seeing it do something now that you don't recognize, you call it crazy. You see, this is the average person's thinking and thought process when they are looking at the market in general. So they're now trying to figure out a way to trade crazy. You can't trade crazy. This is why you start losing. You just said the market is crazy, man. But yet you trying to find a trade though. Nope, don't do it. Take your time and learn how to just be patient and wait and observe so that you can start understanding the market itself. Like, what's the actual nature of the market? What does the market do? You need to define what it does. Like, just look at it. It shows you what it does. It shows you. Then you start to make sense because now you're not trying to project your own ideology on the market. Instead, you're just looking at it. Now, let's just watch. Right? And then it changes the whole dynamic. Then things start to switch because now you're reverse engineering the process. And that's the key. This is a very important lesson. Like, these are lessons right here, man. This is lessons. This is training. It's like I tell you to train. I'm talking about people outside of TA. I'm like, listen, you need to get into training. This is training right here. If you don't understand what I'm saying now, it won't make sense if you even get into my training. Nothing will. Because what I'm telling you is the foundation of the market itself. I'm explaining to you why you be losing. I'm explaining to you why every strategy you ever bought stopped working. I'm explaining why signals don't work for you. And at the same time, I'm explaining why we always win. Come on, man. Come on. This is a lot, bro. This is a lot.